So, welcome to Automate Your Marketing, everyone. I appreciate you spending this morning with me. Um, Automating your marketing is a really interesting way to go, as you'll see shortly from this presentation. There's just some really great things you can do quickly. For those of you who are on the call for the last 5 minutes, I set up an autoresponder for someone's birthday to trigger on a birthday in about 2 minutes. So obviously I didn't customize it and fully make it rich. That probably would have taken 5 to 10 minutes more, but then I would have had an autoresponder that would have gone, that will go to clients on their birthdays forever. So that's how simple it is. So today I just wanted you to know that there's a promotion by Constant Contact for the rest of the year. You can get Constant Contact 30% off for 3 months. And for those of you who already have Constant Contact, if you'd like to join my VIP program, please let me know. I'd love to have you, and I would be glad to spend some time consulting with you and making it worth your while and helping you get up to speed with the latest and greatest tools within Constant Contact. And for those of you who don't have Constant Contact, this is a great way to get started. And I also will add in an hour's worth of my time to make sure that you're getting the most out of the program and getting it up to speed quickly. And that's one of the challenges I think with Constant Contact, and with probably a lot of programs that have bells and whistles, is figuring out how to implement it and find your way into the program. It's as easy as I think it still is challenging for many people to figure out just exactly what to do with it and how to get their lists uploaded and how to get the first email out. And I can help you with that, and I'd be glad to. So a little bit about me. I've been doing work with Constant Contact for the last 5 years, I'd say. And yeah, it's been a great ride. I really enjoy working with them. I've also been teaching people how to use social media for that time and since about 2008. And I consult with people about their small businesses and their nonprofits and projects that they're doing, and just try to help figure out what next steps they need to take to what next steps you need to take to make your business, go a little bit better, make systems go easier, build your email list. That's pretty much my main focus these days, is email marketing. So that's why this topic also is near and dear to my heart, because it's a big part of email marketing, is automating things that you can. But for those who have known me in the past as sort of as a Facebook guru and social media guru, and I have that reputation in my life, I really want to get out there into the world, and I'll probably do an email about this, is that as much as I love social media, as much as we all do, in terms of using it as a business tool, I am less excited than I ever have been about that. I think it's great for driving buzz. I think it has its purpose, but in terms of quantifiable results, using email marketing is the best way to go. And I'm going to show you a slide in a little bit that talks about that. And I'm going to probably stall on that slide for a little while because I think it really makes the point well. So we'll get to that in a little bit. So being a marketer, this is a slide that just shows that anyone can do it. Here's a woman who's a dog care person, and with the right tools, she can spend 99% of the time doing her business and making a living, and spend a little bit of time on marketing, and really anybody can do it. So you can too, and feel free to use this hashtag be a marketer sometime, or go do a search and you'll see some of the various people who are using Constant Contact and who are thinking this way, that really anyone can be a marketer. It doesn't have to be something that you hire out for, and it's not rocket science. So there you have it. Or maybe I should start a new hashtag called be a rocket scientist. So marketing has changed. In the past, a big part of marketing was finding people, and finding lots of people using mass reach tools like billboards and TV. And then, maybe you converted a few people and you kept converting a few more people, and then maybe you were able to keep a couple of customers. And now I think the goal has really shifted. This is called flipping the funnel in constant contact lingo. And the idea is you find a couple of people who become brand ambassadors, who become raging fans. I just want to check in and make sure that we have folks are here, and I'm assuming folks can hear me. If you can't hear me, raise your hand, or please feel free to jump back in again. Okay, thank you very much. Someone raised their hand. Very good. Okay, I'm going to just keep going then. So this is a really great little image, and if it's true, it really changes the game for all of us. And that is that if you find a couple of people who you give a great experience to, I often tell people, people are like, oh, I need 100 people on my email list before I start sending. It's really not true. If you start sending an email to 5 people and a couple of them are raving fans, they'll share your email, they'll share the word, they'll forward it to a friend. And then you just keep going from there. With social media and other tools these days that are like great broadcast tools, you can really expand your clientele just using some of these tools, some free tools, and also using email marketing is a great way to build your client base through time in this way. So, not that I think billboards are going away. I think, unfortunately, they're going to continue to blight our view for probably the rest of my life. But I think other kinds of advertising are going away. Yellow pages, as you can see, are dying out. I don't even remember the last time I got a Yellow Pages book, luckily, and I think that's a good thing. And other forms of marketing are dying back as well. I mean, direct mail, you don't see that used as much anymore, which, by the way, also means that there's often juice in using tools like that because no one's expecting it. And if someone gets a really awesome direct mail piece from you, that's a way of sort of being different and standing out. So, not to say that all old forms of communication are dead. They are not. In fact, I've recently gotten into listening to cassettes, and there's an actual magic in there, but that's off the topic. Okay, so marketing has changed. So if you do it differently now and look, you'll perhaps receive different results. So automation tools, good for you and them. Here, this is probably the main slide for this whole presentation. You receive all of these goodies by automating your tools, and your customers also receive goodies, and they can receive them on an ongoing basis without you having to do more than set up a system. So this is very brilliant, and I think that it's been used for a while, and now the tools are getting better, and the ability to target who you're sending what to, as we'll get into a little bit later, is getting even more robust. So fasten your seatbelts. So here are some statistics that I'm going to share with you. We're talking today, when I talk about automation today, I am talking about email. So I'm talking about autoresponders, drip campaigns, various names for them. So 91% of people check their email daily. One statistic also is that people check their cell phones for email about 150 times a day, which sounds like a lot, except if you start looking around at a cafe or in workplaces, you will see that this is actually what's happening. I know myself. I don't know how many times I check a day, but and I'm personally trying to cut back because I think you can, parse it out so that you look at your email a few times a day rather than 150. That seems a little obsessive. 82% sign up for email on brand websites. So that's also a signal that if you don't have a great email capture sign up form on your website, or if you're not using a pop-up, like I use Sumomi, if you go to albertideation.com and you scroll around a little bit, eventually a pop-up will pop up and say, hey, join my list. So the document that I uploaded called 60 Ways to Build Your List is a great tool for looking through and figuring out a couple of ways that you haven't implemented yet to make sure that when people touch your business, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's in person, whether it's on your website, whether it's on your signature line of your email. Look at that document and find ways to encourage people to sign up for your list when they are connecting with your business. There's in that document, there are 60 ways. There's probably a lot more than that, but those are some of the main ones that are obvious low-hanging fruit. So when people do sign up for your email list, oftentimes they are expecting a discount. And so, for instance, if you're a restaurant, one of the easiest things probably to do is say, thanks for joining our email list. 10% off your next visit, good through the end of the year, something like that. And create a coupon that a person can hand in when they come in, and boom, you get a new customer coming in. So depending on what your business is, this will make sense or it won't. But just know what the expectation of people are when they come to your website and they sign up for your newsletter. This is the statistic that I referenced earlier. $44 average return on every dollar spent on email marketing. Really, I should just get a t-shirt and walk around with that image on it. Because when people say to me, oh, do you know about Facebook marketing, or do you know about, using Twitter? When someone advertises on those platforms, it's very hard to quantify what kind of result they're getting. And that's not true for every business. And I know that there are people making money by doing Facebook advertising. That said, given the simplicity of using email marketing, the low cost, and the rate of return, I think every business worth its salt should basically turn the ship around if the ship is not turned in that direction, and get on board with it. That may not be the case a year from now. It may not be the case 5 years from now. My guess is it's probably going to be the case for quite a while. I don't know any other form of identification that more people use than an email address. I think email addresses probably even surpass phone numbers, would be my guess. I bet there's more email addresses than there are phone numbers in the world. I'm making that up, but my guess is that's probably true. And even if it's not true, if you tried to call 100 people versus emailing them, you can guess which one you can do quicker, and also possibly have a greater effect with, because I think people being called for business calls these days is not a really great route to success. Remember the last time someone called you and asked you to buy something? Yeah. So again, email marketing, 3 times higher conversion rate than social media. Feel free to take a screenshot, show it to whoever's making marketing decisions in your world. And if it's you, just take note of that and, change your behavior accordingly if you are doing something besides email marketing. Personally, I've just switched to doing only that. I mean, I do spend time on Facebook. I like it. It's fun. I do try to encourage people to come to my classes through it. But really, mostly, I think people are coming through email. So here's a little glossary of terms for those of you who are new to autoresponders. You can just read through that. I'm not going to read it out loud, but hopefully that all makes sense to you. And campaigns, I think the last one is probably one where this is, I think, really a constant contact glossary. And the word campaigns, that's their word for email marketing messages, autoresponder messages, events. It's how we break up all the different kinds of messages that you could send out using constant contact. So it could be an offer or a promotion, it could be a social campaign on Facebook, it could be an autoresponder. I don't know that that is common parlance in the world, thinking of these things as campaigns. But everything else, I would say, is pretty much industry-wide the standard way of thinking about things. So here's the agenda for the rest of this morning's class. My guess is it'll probably go for another 20 minutes to a half hour, and then I'll take questions at the end. Unless people have questions along the way, I'm glad to try to take them, but it's probably going to be easier for me to just talk for a little while and then take questions from folks. And also, if you have questions that I didn't answer, or if you need to hop off the call, you're always welcome to email me. My email address is going to be all over this PDF, and I'll be emailing you and letting you know about next classes that I have and things like that. So feel free to just write me and ask. So what's an automation campaign? How do you know if you should use one? How to use it the right way, and next steps. So automation campaigns can help you send what you wish you had the time to send. So the whole basis of it is setting up something that you do once, and then hopefully people start to receive on an ongoing basis. Here's a cute little graphic where the autoresponder is working while you do. So a person sitting at their desk having a nice meeting, and the autoresponder is welcoming someone who joins up for the email newsletter. Here are some different ways that a autoresponder can get triggered when a contact is added to a list. A birthday event. So for instance, if you have a database that's got people's birthdays in it, or you could start to collect that if that's something that makes sense for your business or nonprofit. An anniversary event, it could be something like a person has joined your list at a certain time. Oh, it's been a year since you've joined our list. Or it could be an actual anniversary in their lives. It could be an anniversary, any kind of an anniversary. And also the final one is a previous email. So if a person has one particular behavior or has been part of a particular series, just having them be a part of a series could then trigger them participating in a second series. Or a particular set of behaviors could also indicate participation in a new trigger. Like if I sent you an email and you clicked on a particular link, that could indicate to me that you have a particular preference, and that maybe, like, then you should be added to a different set of autoresponders. Here are the typical ones, particularly within Constant Contact. On the left, a person joins your list. They can either receive a welcome email or an autoresponder. The welcome email is a type of autoresponder, but the autoresponder could also be a series, whereas the welcome email is just a one-time thing. Then there could be triggers that are possibly date-based. Birthday and an anniversary are two examples. So a date-based automation, one message sent to existing customers. Message initiates on special dates and occasions triggered by data in contact record. And then a list join automation is a little bit different, where that is triggered by a person actually taking the action to subscribe to a list. And I'm sure everyone on this call has probably experienced both of these at times. Both of these have the same properties of having been created in advance, short and sweet and evergreen. So you don't want to have too much information in there, and you want the information to be always accurate. And if it's not, you just go in there and adjust it. That's okay. If you're running a particular special or offering a coupon until December and suddenly it's January, go in there and just adjust it. It won't necessarily send to the people who have already received it. It'll send to new people who join the list, but it's the new accurate message. And then also contains one call to action. That's true for most email these days. Just having one call to action is probably the best bet. If you give people too many choices, they get confused, and maybe they don't make the one that you're hoping they will. That's another point of it. What else did I want to say about this? This is a really kind of key aspect of automation, and you'll get this in the PDF that I send to you. Trying to think, there's something else I wanted to say about this one. Okay. So, this also is your opportunity. It's the first time that a person is going to hear from you. So let's say I sign up for your email list and I get a welcome email. Well, that first email is the first reach that you've made out towards a customer or a client, and it really matters. This is the one area where I feel like a lot of email service providers fall flat, and where I feel like Constant Contact actually shines. The whole sign up process, if you sign up for my email list, the first email that comes back to you is going to be an autoresponder, and it's going to be jazzy looking, and it's going to be professional looking and branded, matching my website colors, and it's going to just really make me look good and hopefully entertain you and encourage you to do something that I'm asking you to do. For me, it's probably just possibly look about getting a Constant Contact account. I see there is a question, so I'm going to go ahead and take a breath and see what has been asked. Oh, okay, thank you, Suzanne. So again, that first email that you send back, that welcome email, don't leave that to chance. So if you're using Constant Contact and you're using the welcome email, go in there and customize it. Even better, what I would suggest, and I'm going to show you how to do this, you can turn off the welcome email and you can create an autoresponder. The autoresponder uses the current editor, which is a lot more powerful than the welcome email creation wizard. The welcome email creation wizard is very simple and it makes a decent product, but if you have the time, I recommend turning that off and using whatever information's in there possibly to create an autoresponder instead. That's your welcome email that says, hey, welcome to our world, very colorful or not colorful, very clear, simple information, and you can make it really look good and make sure that it's mobile friendly and etc. So here is a little, way that this can all work. A person comes to you through email, website, social media. You offer an incentive to join your mailing list. Then you make it easy. They subscribe. The autoresponder delivers the incentive immediately, and the subscriber takes the action by redeeming the coupon. So this is the ideal, way that this can work if that's the business, if this relates to your business. And then finally, they come into your store and make this process happen. And this whole circular thing is kind of what we talked about earlier when I talked about flipping the funnel, because if a person goes through all of these responses and there's a good likelihood that they'll talk about it. They might talk about it on social media, they might mention it to friends and family, and that is the way that you then start to build your business further than it already is. How do you know if you should use one? So if you answer yes to any of these questions, an autoresponder might be right for you. And you can just read through these and see, are any of these areas relevant to your business? Even just number 4, I think that's a no-brainer. Of course you want to create a lasting first impression immediately. And number 5, do you have specialized sub-audiences with varying interests? That's also a really good thing to think about. And we're going to come up to that in just a moment. So when you use automation campaigns, here are some statistics around that. I should also mention, if you want to implement an automation series in the next couple of weeks or whenever, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be glad to help walk you through it if you are stumbling at all. It's not that difficult, and if you've never done it before, I would say it takes a little bit of wrapping your head around something new, as often is the case with technology. But I think once you have it in place, you will be pleased. So I'd be happy to work with you to make that happen. So 60% people reported higher open rates when new subscribers received a welcome email, and 89% of consumers turned to search engines to research products or services before purchasing, meaning that they are coming to your website possibly where there's an opportunity for them to sign up for your newsletter. So you want to make sure that series of actions is really easy for them. Most people put their email sign up form on the top right of their website, And if your website is mobile friendly, I hope it is, that should be something that shows up at the very top of your website. And if you have a WordPress site, one product that I recommend, I mentioned Sumome before, Sumome, is a great way to go for a pop-up. Another really nice product that's really quick to install is called HelloBar, HELLOBAR.com. And you can install that on your site in just a couple of minutes, connect it up to your Constant Contact account, and you're done. And basically, you just write a little bit of text, please subscribe to my newsletter. Person puts in their email address, clicks send, and they're on your list. And then this process of having an autoresponder can happen. So how to use the autoresponder the right way. I'm going to talk about these various subtopics now. So first of all, you want to identify the goal, strategize, and then implement the campaign. So the goal here is person signs up for the newsletter, they receive a welcome email that's got a 20% off coupon, boom, they're in your yoga class. Here is an example of a email list sign up form, which are very simple to create within Constant Contact. And also this shows a bunch of different email lists that a person could possibly show up in. And this is an area where, everybody needs to take a moment and think about all the different subcategories that a person could be joining when they join your email list. So many companies have one general list, which is just fine. But if your endeavor has multiple subcategories, this is the place to bring them into the fore, so that when someone signs up for the first time, because they're not going to sign up a second time, and they're probably not going to take the effort to jump from one list to another or add lists. So you really want to think in advance. Okay, what are all the different lists that someone might be interested in? And again, if you stumble in that area, feel free to talk to me. I'd be glad to help you brainstorm on various lists, sublists that you could come up with. So here are a number of different customers for this company and their various sublists that they might be interested in. So here are some examples of different kinds of content that you might offer within a autoresponder series. Now, mostly I've been kind of focusing on the welcome email, but an autoresponder doesn't have to just be one email. It can be a series of emails. I'm going to show you in a minute or two some examples of companies that have done, mixed in autoresponders with their regular email, with their social media postings. So, but here are a bunch of examples of different kinds of content that you can do and why an autoresponder might work. Like the second one, tell your story in installments. I've got a customer who, when people sign up for his email newsletter, they automatically get sent into an autoresponder series that's 10 videos. So each day for 10 days, a new video comes. And now the people who sign up for his list get a welcome email that says, thanks for showing your interest in commercial real estate. I'm going to now share with you some great information on commercial real estate via this series of 10 emails. And by the 10th one, people have learned a lot about his topic, and he's got people who are interested in his topic. They can unsubscribe at any time, but that is how that works. So recipes, highlighting products, services, and employees, sharing a collage of photos, linking to an informative blog post. So all of these are ways and content that you can share with folks who are receiving your autoresponders. And, you could use one of each of these and make an autoresponder series. So, these are not necessarily applicable to everyone, but they're just ideas that hopefully will spur some creative thinking on your side. So evergreen, the idea here is that you want to make sure that your content is the best content that you have, and that it is timeless, never expires. It includes goal-driven calls to action, short and sweet, informative, useful, and timely. And, that is pretty much the main thing to think about. It can be a picture, 2 sentences, and click here to sign up for my class or buy my product or donate to my cause or come to my events. It doesn't have to be real long. It can really be anything you want it to be. Also, there's no, you don't have to warn people of anything. You can if you want to. You can say, hey, you joined this list and, you're going to get news every month from us. But really, you're able to say whatever it is that you want to. Okay. Scheduling your message. So obviously, there's multiple different ways that you can schedule your messages. They can come out on a weekly basis, monthly, biweekly, occasionally. And within Constant Contact, you can now set your triggers for autoresponders to be, that immediately, 1 day in, 3 days in, as many days as you want, I think up to a year. So there you have it. And you can stagger those as well. And if you do some research online, you'll see that there are strategies out there for sure that people are implementing where they're doing things like staggering the autoresponder series. So, the first one comes on day 1, then the second one comes on day 3, then the third one comes on day 12. Though there's definitely some psychology behind all of this. And if you want to look into it, you can and learn best practices for timing your autoresponder. This is just an example of what an autoresponder series can look like. This organization, the Leaf Line Project, who wants to reforest the American West. Here's an example of their welcome email. Within Constant Contact, I talked about this earlier, you can go into the My Settings area and turn the welcome email off. And that way, that sets you up for then setting up an autoresponder series that will trigger instead. Now, the welcome email works just fine. If you just want to use that, that's fine. You can go in, customize it, make sure that it's saying what you want it to say, and be done with it. You're done. That's definitely the easier route. Probably takes a little bit less time. In fact, it's probably already on for any of you who are already using Constant Contact. So if that's the way you want to go, you're just fine. All right, so Sugi needs to go. Okay, I've got a couple questions, but they're not exactly relevant to what I'm talking about right now, so I'm going to continue on, and I will definitely address them all at the end as well, so stick around. So here's an autoresponder series for Liberty Jane Clothing. It's a B2C company, a business to consumer, and here is their effort. Person subscribes, they get 2 free patterns, social media kicks in, then they get a newsletter here, they get another coupon or offer, and then 1 week follow-up, they get another email, possibly triggered by when they started the first one. And here's an example of their website, and then a number of different things that they're offering as the time goes on. Different patterns, different opportunities to follow the person on social media. So all of these are part of an autoresponder series. Again, an ebook, and then an invitation to visit the page that gives them more coupons, and then a mention of a one-time gift code that a person can use. And this looks like the person's been on the list for a couple of days now and maybe hasn't taken any action, or maybe has. And again, here's an offer of some free tutorials after a person's been on the site or receiving the newsletters for a week. Here is a friend of mine, Mark Michelot, down in LA, who's another authorized local expert for Constant Contact, like I am. and he's really doing great, and Constant Contact is using him as an example here of his autoresponder series. So a person signs up, they get, this first email, second one a couple of days later, third one a couple of days later, and each of these. So here's Mark's sign up form up at the top right, building aspirations. Someone signs up, they get the first welcome email, and this is actually Constant Contact's welcome email. This is pretty much as good as you can do with it. The current version that's going to change soon, so hopefully that'll get more spiffy looking. But still, his first video in a series is mentioned right there, and then the video series just starts kicking in. So day 3, day 6, day 11, third automated email. And so that's how he does it. The next one here is this organization called the Leafline Project, which is a nonprofit, and a person joins, and then they start to get one email after another. There's an introduction from the founders by video. Now, know that including videos in your emails improves interactivity engagement by about 300%. So if you're not using video yet, you might want to start thinking about how to include it. Here's another video that they share. How do we reforest and rebuild ecosystems? That's a promotion. And then a request to connect via social media. And then a coupon offer match program that they'll send out to try to help retree the west coast of the United States. Go Leafline. So here are examples of these newsletters, autoresponder series that they come out with. The first one is, thanks for your interest in our mission to reforest the American West. We'll be sharing some inspirations, videos about how we've helped to rebuild and replant communities affected by forest wildfires. With a beautiful video that most people would probably click on, or a lot of people probably would. Then a second email, again, look at that branding. It's just all really tight. Nice color on the outside, beautiful logo. Here's the map that someone might click on, and again, another video. And then another video. And here, an invitation to come and like the organization on Facebook. And then here, an offer to come and make a donation. So what a great example for a nonprofit to come in and do this autoresponder series, leading up to possibly encouraging people to donate. I'm sure they're going to be very successful. Hopefully they'll retree the West Coast. I'd be into that. So here's, we're kind of coming down to the wire. We've got another 5 minutes to go or so. Here's some do's and don'ts. In the do category, tell them how many emails they can expect. And some don'ts, you need to make sure that your information is evergreen so that it always remains accurate. If something changes in your business, or your coupon has expired, or the information is old, feel free to go in and spruce it up, and that will still only go to the new people on your list. Now, do know there is a setting for Constant Contact, at least, that when you create an autoresponder series, you can have it kick off and go to the people who are already on your list. So, or you can choose not to. But be careful there. If you don't want to send to people who are already on your list, you want to make sure that you haven't checked that box, because I made the mistake of creating an autoresponder series and adding about 1,500 people to that autoresponder series after they'd already been on my list for a few years. And I don't think it had any kind of terrible repercussions, but it was not my intention to do that. So make sure as you're going through creating these series, just watch your step a little bit, and make sure that you only send to people who you intend to. So next steps, determine how automation can be used for you. Identify what your call to action goals are. Create segmented lists. Again, I can help you with all of these things. Use evergreen content and determine the timing. There are some great resources out there. If you don't have Constant Contact already and you don't want to jump in and actually buy it, you can start with a 60-day free trial. A couple of you I've signed up for using that trial. And again, for those of you who might be interested in Constant Contact, you can sign up for 30% off for 3 months using this code. And I can talk to you more about that too if you have any questions. And so, yeah, it's time for questions. Let's see. I know a couple of questions have come in already. And before I take questions, just want to say thank you all for those of you who have been here today and stuck with me. I really appreciate your time. And if you do need to go, that's completely understood. And